Good evening, Formula One fans. We are back to recap the Australian Grand Prix. Plus, we'll get into what's going on with Red Bull, Max Verstappen, what did Toto say after the race, and all the rest of the F1 news. Make sure you keep it locked. This is Hitting the Apex. Let's go. I don't know how that. Look at Moni's face. No, because you did it before. That's what you get.
We could tell who didn't watch the recap show. Just watching everyone's faces.
I mean,
and we haven't been
one to top tier, man.
We haven't been fined yet, so that's a point.
Yeah. That was not the first time we've used that, by the way, for some of our pit crew here.
That's the best news about it. What's going on, everybody? Joined here by Manny Chang, Vish, Nick, and Moni. What's going on? The whole pit crew is here today, huh? Nice to see you guys.
Yeah.
Good.
We got a lot to cover today. Very excited about it. But before we get to that, we definitely want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Manny. It's You Break Will Fix. It's still our sponsor. That's pretty impressive, right? We still got one. No, so shout out to them. You Break Will Fix, repairs damaged wheels from curbs, curb rash, cracks, or bends, all under one roof. You can house powder coating. They even do house powder coating, CNC machining, and polishing. They also offer new custom wheels and tires from your favorite brands such as Vossen, Forgiato, Fuel Off-Road, and so much more. They now even offer no credit check financing up to $5,000 for a new set of wheels. Pretty cool. They offer fast turnaround times on all the repairs, and they even provide loaner wheels in many cases. You Break Wheel Fix is your total automotive wheel solution located in North Miami, right off of Biscayne Boulevard. It's a new place in Miami here. North Miami, right off of Biscayne Boulevard and Northeast 146th Street. Check them out. Some of their great work is all across social media as well, from Instagram to Facebook. It's at You Break Wheel Fix. That's a U, the letter U, break wheel, like the wheel fix. So at You Break Wheel Fix, or online at youbreakwheelfix.com. You can even give them a call, 305-748-0112, and schedule your appointment today. You Break Wheel Fix, changing the way you see wheels. I don't like those gold ones, but that's okay. Don't matter.
Yeah, and so you're trying to make sure we lose the sponsor now? You're insulting them right there?
No, I don't like those. I like the black or the white ones.
Fucking Toto's gonna call us now, bro. We're fucked.
Shout out to Fernando. Follow us over from Sixers Kane.
Hey, good Fernando. What's up, brother?
So what's up, man?
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, it's all about those
Jack Daniels
small victories, man. Pit lane, the fastest pit lane stop for McLaren.
Hey, man, double points finish. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, but that was a solid weekend from our boys.
Solid weekend from McLaren.
I mean, it was more solid than Red Bull. Let's be real about that.
Ooh. Quiet. Silence.
I'm actually trying to do the math in my head. I think Red Bull might end up with more points because Checo finished second, but.
Yeah, but who's counting, right? But who's counting?
The FIA. It's a competition. I don't know. People are counting the points.
Guys, the Australian Grand Prix. Pretty exciting. I thought it was a pretty exciting race. Had some nice competition going on in the midfield again. At the end of the day, we took it again. But that's neither here nor there. How do you guys feel about the Aussie GP? Let's start off with Nick on this one, man. I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, it was. I got 2 out of the 3 places right, but not like in the exact place.
I
got Leclerc. I had Max winning the race, but then obviously he flamed out. I had Leclerc finishing second. He finished first, and I had my surprise Russell finishing third, which none of you picked. And it was a very good race. Lots of battles in the midfield again, which is what I like, as far as going in places like I would say from like 5th place on, it was really, really competitive. for the most part, as far as like overtakes or possible overtakes or people fighting for position, which I think is what Formula One has been wanting to see throughout this season. It also goes back to Jeddah and how they, want to see more overtakes and more battles to get more entertainment for the fans. So I think in that aspect, the race worked out for FIA as far as that goes. But um, you know, for Red Bull, obviously, having Max DNF 2 out of the first 3 races is definitely not a good sign. I think they definitely need to work on a lot of things. I feel like I don't know exactly what the issue is. Maybe Max is pushing the car too hard, because that's kind of just how he is as a driver. But at the same time, as a Red Bull team, you should have more reliability, better reliability than like some of the other teams. Especially, you finished second in the constructors last season, and then you also got the world championship driver. So they have some work to do. Obviously, Papaya Power also 5th and 6th in that race. There we go. See, we're getting back on track. We're getting there, slow and steady. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Slow being the operative word, unfortunately.
No, I know. Vish, we're getting
I'll take the points.
Papaya positivity, my friend. All right.
And Jazz is on mute. Moni, why don't you give us your thoughts on the race?
That's exactly what I said, by the way. That's funny. It's funny. That's exactly what you said. And by the way, I had unmuted myself, but apparently Manny muted me.
Get him out of here.
Thank God we can't hear him now.
I'm like,
Jazz is doing his Max Verstappen, just blaming everyone else. Dude, you hit your own mute button.
Now.
Okay, please. Okay, ready? So, okay. So I wrote, I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 major things or 5 major outcomes after the Australian Grand Prix. So I'm going to read them out loud to you.
I see what you did there. 5 reasons, 5 major outcomes. I get it. All right.
Baby, it all connects.
Mm-hmm.
It all connects. So my number 1 outtake is concern for Red Bull and Verstappen, of course. 2 out of 3 DNF, painful. But I don't know if you guys remember the very first episode that I joined, I said that Max's Achilles heel is going to be how hard he pushes. And it's going to be his Achilles heel throughout the season. So I think that it's kind of biting him in the ass a little bit. Yes, Manny, he knows what he's doing. What's up, Manny? Hell yeah. Sorry, guys. I got distracted by this awesome banner below me. But anyways, concern for Red Bull and Verstappen. Number 2, Checo put up a really good fight. I think that, he started off as third. He started off as third. And I think he was fairly, stable throughout the race. And then towards the end, he fought for that second spot. So I'm giving Checo these props. Number 3, Leclerc dominated. Absolutely. Like it was I was fascinated, like watching him drive. The gap between him and second place, it was just like obscene. And it just showed how dominating he is at the moment and how good the car is, for Ferrari. So cheers to you, Jazz. Number 4, well-deserved pole for Russell. So cheers to you, Manny. I was very happy for him. And number 5, I think this was a really good result for McLaren. Papaya power. Papaya alert. You guys were getting too comfortable with the McLaren jokes, but my guy over here, Vish, is coming back. So I think we have to step back and watch and enjoy the show. That's it for me.
Fair enough. Not bad. Not bad. Modi's top 5.
Why is my face showing up then the papaya? I don't understand. Nick is also a McLaren fan. Why did I become the face of this?
That's why there's two. There you go.
Swear, man.
You and Nick side by side.
I swear, if people do not watch this show, they don't know what they're missing. Honestly,
No context.
I'm a little upset that Moni prepared. We're doing preparation for this show now. I come in here and wing it every week.
There was no chance.
I gotta do homework. What is this?
Vish, talk to us, man.
Homework.
I mean, stepping up the game for all
Hey,
of us.
listen. Max has been doing his homework for 3 races, and he hasn't finished 2 of them, so it's not doing him much well here.
Is he doing his homework, or is he still expecting Latifi to crash so he can win unjustifiably? Like, I don't know.
I think he's just saying like his dog ate his homework or something, right? He's bound to complain about it. But Vish, hey, listen, yeah, like Moni said, like Nick said, like we've all said, papaya power, man. Great showing by the McLarens. But also obviously the absolute dominance of Charles Leclerc, the disappointing start for Red Bull, disappointing finish for Red Bull. Talk to me a little bit about how you felt about the Aussie GP.
Yeah, so I think Nick and Moni hit the big points, but I will just say I thought Hamilton was faster than Russell, and they should have let him through so he could go after Perez, because I think he could have caught him, and then Perez made that mistake at the end, and Russell was nowhere near him. Thought that was probably a mistake from Mercedes. Like, only reason Russell was in front is because he got lucky with the safety car. Which is, by the way, this is the 4th race in a row, whatever, that Hamilton's gotten screwed by a safety car. Like, everyone always said, like, for years, you're like, that guy's just lucky. He's getting screwed out there. Anytime there's a safety car, it's like the worst time for him. But I'm actually going to go to the back of the grid because I didn't expect this, but Aston Martin is by far the worst team, and no one's even close to as bad as them. and like Williams has gotten the points.
Okay, that's unbelievable.
Aston Martin can't even like complete laps. Like I don't see any way that they're gonna get much better. Vettel appears to be completely done. That was as bad as I've seen him drive. And Stroll is not capable of like developing a car. He's not that kind of driver. So they're kind of stuck there. So I'm interested to see how they even recover this. Their car stinks. They don't have good drivers to develop it, and spending a ton of money on it too. So it's kind of interesting because some of these teams are run on the cheap, and you kind of know, like Haas, for example, you kind of know they're just going to throw something out there and see what happens. But Aston Martin thinks they're competitive, and they're terrible. And to me, that was the thing. I mean, obviously, like Red Bull's reliability, all the stuff we touched on was the big highlights, but I think like a secondary thing is just how bad that car is, and they can't even get it like around the track at this point. It is shockingly bad, and I can't believe Vettel is that bad, to be honest. He was terrible this weekend. He wrecked the car multiple times unprovoked. So I don't know what's going on there.
And you can't really say this is his first race back. I mean, the guy's been around for God knows how long already. So I think at this point, he should have a better feel.
But we'll see now with like a week off because it is But I think he's probably thinking he probably should have retired when they redid the cars.
Well, before we even get to Imola, because I mean, that's also, it's going to be interesting how, what type of upgrades a lot of the teams take with them there because of how, the schedule is going to lay out. But before we even get to that, you brought up a great point. I want to go back to Mercedes, Manny. I want to go to you, right? The whole Hamilton-Russell situation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all saw Hamilton was faster than Russell. Was it, because obviously the explanation was, they didn't want him to overheat or he was overheating.
Yeah.
I mean, do you still take that chance at that point and then say, hey, he wasn't overheating yet, right? So they were just kind of looking at his systems and saying, hey, there's a chance you're going to overheat if you push too hard. So talk to me about the whole decision to not let Hamilton pass Russell there. Was it disappointing, or was it, something that you kind of foresaw coming?
For a driver like Lewis to understand a little bit of his frustrations, and I think Vish even pointed it well, it's just been consecutive weeks where the damn stoppage car has just effed them up, no matter what part of the race it is. But again, I still think the Mercedes did the right thing. Now, I realized real quickly at 3:30 in the morning, East Coast, that I joined in some Formula One spaces, especially Mercedes fans, and it was pretty divided between the full Mercedes fans and Lewis Hamilton fans. And they basically felt like Lewis was hanged out to dry. And I basically went on there and said, well, listen, I don't know how many you do it, but I know I've been doing it. I watch an entire screen, and thanks to Vish, who bought the package for us, I watch Lewis Hamilton the whole race, okay? I hear everything. I see it all, Okay. And I have another screen that's showing the broadcast. So the broadcast only puts on, you guys are putting me in a tough situation. I thought that was such a bullshit call by that broadcast because they didn't even play 3 minutes, 4 minutes before saying, hey, listen, Lewis, we want to give you that opportunity, but we don't want you to overheat. And by you overheating, guess what? There's no guarantees that you will even finish top 10. And we don't want to risk that.
Right. And you lose out on the points, right?
Correct. Because not only that, you're still getting points in the constructors. And not only that, Ferrari was down one driver. Red Bull was down one driver. You want to be able to get as much confidence and still knowledge of the car going forward because the W13 is far yet from being even totally complete. Not to mention no upgrades were even made except for the wings and here and there. So again, that question, should there be a controversy? There shouldn't be a controversy. These guys are teammates for a reason. Now, I think Vish said this point on Sunday, and I thought about it a little bit, and as much as I want to ignore it, what if down the line you get to a specific point in the season towards the end, and Lewis is missing points, and the only race that there was any controversy of whether he should have been third instead of fourth or fourth instead of fifth is this particular one, then I can probably say there was a mistake. But right now, I think the most important thing is to get as many points as you can, stay top in the constructors. Not to mention, this car is shit still. And yet to be ahead of Red Bull, knowing that they have a much better car, even though they've had three non-finishes, I think that's a damn plus. Now, let's switch to Mercedes just for 5 seconds. Holy shit, they just look fucking completely unstoppable. And I think Moni even tweeted it. Charles Leclerc drove in one hand and blindfolded for the whole race. It wasn't even close, right? Max was what? Max was 5 seconds behind him, and in lap 12, lap 15? It was plus 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
It was at 15 seconds. Yeah.
15 seconds. So there's no doubts about it that Ferrari right now has one of the most unbelievable cars ever. And to match that at this particular point in time, it's going to be not impossible, but it's going to be difficult. But the controversy between, should have George, listen, George was told earlier in the race as well when Checo was behind him, if you're wasting tires on Checo, don't do it, let him pass you. Obviously, he's a young driver, and he said, well, that's not words that I want to hear. So then all of a sudden, when he finds himself in an opportunity to get podium, as a team, you got to realize right now it's not about individuals. It's about being able to win as a team. And I thought that was a great thing. Now, Lewis is a winner, man. It's like you telling Tom Brady, listen, you can't take the last snap on fourth down. We're going to kick it. No, he's going to want to go out there and convert the fourth down. Why? He's a winner. He's a proven champion. Not once, not twice, multiples. You know what I mean? So, you're going to have the Lewis Hamilton fans saying, well, once again, his team screwed him. What is he doing? And then me, overall Mercedes, I'm looking for the overall of the team. Now, Toto's comments afterwards might have made you feel a little bit, antsy, saying, we learned a lot from this race. We got to upgrade. But then he went a little bit against the FIA. Toto's going to be Toto. I don't think, there shouldn't be any controversy what this team is, constructing behind the scenes and what's to come ahead. So to me, there's no controversy. It's Lewis Hamilton 1, George Russell 2nd. George Russell, podium? Come on. You got to give the man credit. By the way, Moni, when we go to you next, I don't think your team is giving enough credit to your number 2 driver. This man has carried you through all these races. And instead, the question that Red Bull fans are asking, including your main manager, doesn't talk about Checo. Just talk about, Max needs to do this and we'll be fine. And it's not an engine problem. No. You guys got to start giving some credit to your number 2 driver because he's been carrying you all season.
Right. The problem with that, though, is those are the number 2 drivers. And Checo is, and actually Helmut Marko praised Checo, say drove a perfect race. He would have been up there with Max, but he got stuck behind Hamilton at the beginning like that. I think the issue is these are number 2 drivers. When your number 1 is behind your number 2 driver after 3 races is problematic. That's
why you're going to talk about him.
Yeah, but the other thing is Mercedes did the right thing for their team. That was not the right thing for Lewis Hamilton, and that's a problem internally on the team. He knows his car wasn't overheating. That was crap. They didn't want him to wreck trying to pass Russell or to have any kind of incident, and because they know if we just hold station, we're 3 and 4.
Well, here's the thing. Vish,
so they basically had him follow behind, and Hamilton knew it was crap, and that's why he said you're putting him in a tough position because he knew he could pass him, and he knew his car wasn't overheating.
Well, Vish,
but it's the same thing they used to do, when he was in front of Bottas, maybe Bottas was quicker and be like, everyone stay off the curbs. it's that kind of stuff. They're telling him not to pass and coming up with a technical reason why.
Well, here's the thing, Vish. You mentioned this before. Mercedes is notorious, and I know we keep saying 1 and 2, and Hamilton's 1 and Russell's 2, but history has it, that Mercedes, and I think you mentioned this, Mercedes usually just lets their guys race, right? Like they don't necessarily say one, hey, overtake, let them overtake you, let them, whatever the case is. They're typically just let their guys race, and whoever's the fastest guy goes out there and wins, right? So why is this such a big deal? Is it because it's Hamilton, or I mean, what is it?
It's two things. One is they didn't let them race because Hamilton would have skinned him. Like, I mean, that's the reality of it. He was way faster the entire weekend.
Right.
He had pulled a big gap to him until the safety car screwed him, and then he caught back up. And you could tell. You can always tell when when there's teammates and the car behind's faster because they're sitting there like exactly right outside DRS at range. They're being told not to enter that because then they'll almost have to pass him, right? So you could see that 1.23 second gap where he was just sitting there, and you could see him like itching, like I'm gonna pass this guy, and they wouldn't let him. With that said, it does matter that it's Hamilton because it's Hamilton. He's won 7 world titles, and you're telling him to sit behind a kid. That's going to cause some internal strife. Whether it was the right decision for Mercedes, it probably was.
Yeah.
Only thing that could have happened was bad things with him trying to pass Russell, right? I mean, best case, pretty much. I mean, they didn't know Checo was going to have an incident where that cost him a few seconds, but you're really thinking best case is 3-4. You're in 3-4. So it's actually absolutely made sense for the team. But
Vish, that's the objective down there. You see that right there? You see that? That's the objective right now. Okay? That's the objective.
that is the team's objective. That's not Lewis Hamilton's objective, and that is the problem. And that's what I'm saying.
And there's a difference.
There's a difference, and that is what I'm saying. Like, he's going to be sitting there saying, "I've won how many titles? And you're telling me to sit behind this guy?" That's why I'm telling you, they had a fun debrief on Sunday. Because he knew exactly what they're saying, because that's how Mercedes does things. When they decide they don't want him to pass, it's some kind of mechanic. You got to manage your tires, stay off the curves, you're going to overheat. They have all these code words for stay the hell behind your teammate and do not try to pass him. Like, and that they gave it to Hamilton this time, and he wasn't having it.
I will say this, though. I don't think this is an issue that's going to linger going forward. I know we have an off week, but listen, like, there's going to be certain questions throughout the season. Now, well, we could have done this, we could have done that. The point is that I know Lewis wants to win. He's still salty with what happened last season. It's not going to tear this team apart. It's just a situation that, when you think about it overall, this team in Mercedes has to start thinking about not post Lewis, but they have to start introducing like a new, I'm not going to say street, I'm going to say avenue, right? Like a new trail. They need to start somewhere. Okay. And this is just a particular situation where did Lewis have an opportunity? Absolutely. Would have he overheated? We will never find out. But of course, Vish will probably try to convince you, and then he'll probably win, just like he did. So it's not an issue to me going forward. Now, if this ends up happening down the line, like after Miami, right? Let's see where the car is in Miami, by the way. I think we might see a Mercedes win there. I think I might actually put some money on that.
Wait,
let's see what happens. Yeah,
they're fighting a second a lap? Actually, I have heard that if they can fix the porpoising, it's worth more than a second. You actually see it in the sector time.
By the way, it wasn't the Mercedes that was porpoising a lot this weekend.
It was the Ferrari,
but they still won.
Because there's different. The way the Ferrari comes under control into the high-speed corners, the Mercedes continues to porpoise through it. So you can actually see. That's why Hamilton was purple in the first few sectors on a lot of those laps, and then they lost more than a second in the last sector because that's where all the high-speed turns are. So there is actually, again, big if because they don't know how to do it. If they can get the porpoising under control, one of the reasons the Mercedes was porpoising less is they took downforce out to prevent it, where Ferrari you can ride through it. So not having to do that. So when you see the less porpoising, it's actually because the car is just going slower. They were losing a second, more than a second, just in that last sector. So they feel like they have a second in the car, which would then put them up at the top of the grid.
Which, by the way, apparently Ferrari is taking a new floor with them to Italy, to Imola.
Oh, we will get to Carlos Sainz. Don't worry, Mike.
They will be taking a new floor, so that's supposed to help them with their porpoising as well. So I think there's going to be some changes. However, not as many changes as we think, and the reason being that there's really only one free practice in Imola because of the sprint race. So that's going to be, that's why apparently Ferrari has decided not to take their upgrades fully to Imola because of that, because there's only one free practice. Therefore, they don't have enough time to really test everything out. So I don't think you're going to see a lot of that in this one. But you will start seeing it. I think in Miami is where you're going to start seeing a lot of upgrades for a lot of the teams, not just Ferrari or Red Bull, but I think Mercedes is also going to be much quicker, and even McLaren and some of the other guys. So the big question of the race and just moving forward, we've said it, we've kind of spoken ad nauseum about it already, but I think it's just we got to keep talking about it. And I want to go to our Red Bull enthusiast here about it. What the hell's going on with Red Bull, Moni?
Listen, I think Red Bull is. I don't know if turning point is the right word. Maybe not turning point, but they're at a very critical point. They're obviously having reliability issues, like the fact that 2 out of 3 races there's been a DNF. There's something there. Okay, number one. Number two, I need to address Manny's comment about Checo and how Red Bull may perhaps not be giving enough credit to the other driver. So this is the other part of this crucial point for Red Bull that I think comes down to them realizing that at the end of the day, Max is not their only driver, And
Defending champion.
No, 100%. I agree 100%. However, if Checo continues to perform, let's say the way that he performed at Australia, I think it's going to make a statement, and I think it might even ruffle some feathers internally at Red Bull, because at the end of the day, I believe that everyone is aware of who Max Verstappen is. He's a great racer. He's an excellent driver, but he's a driver that has a personality. He's a driver that has he's young. I don't know how to say this in English. I know mañoso. I don't know if you guys know what mañoso is. I was actually when I was watching the race.
This is an international show, Moni. You can say however you want. Mañoso. It's perfect.
Okay, thank God, because the language barrier, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Max is very mañoso.
He's very mañoso. He's un llorón.
No,
oh my car.
That's something that I personally struggle with when it comes down to Max. There's a lot of over here, over there, oh this and this and this, oh this and that. So,
but isn't that what won him the world championship last year? Pushing, being aggressive.
And again, since the moment that I joined this show, this is a double-edged sword for Max Verstappen. And I believe that 7 out of 10 times it's going to bite him in the ass. His attitude, the way that maybe he might refer to a situation, the way that he might refer to his team, the way that he might refer to his teammate, and it has an impact. And we also know that Checo, he's also not like a little santo that he's just going to let it all roll by and whatever. He might also say, okay, this is my time. This is my time to shine. This is my time to go off. Viva Mexico, viva la Formula 1, nos vamos. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think that Red Bull is quite encountering a little bit of a crucial point when it comes to their 2 drivers. And at the end of the day, when it comes to their car, I don't know. This is like, we better grab our popcorn. This is like watching Leclerc and Verstappen battle it out.
Nick, I know you're chomping at the bit, man.
I mean, with Red Bull, I think Max also has to come to terms with the car this year is not the car he had last year. And not in just, terms of him not finishing or reliability issues. It's just an entirely different car. And he needs to adjust the way he drives to how the car goes around the track. And the fact that it seems like he still hasn't figured that out yet is probably why he's had the 2 DNFs so far this year. And I think going forward, if he doesn't try to adjust to the car more than adjusting, his personality or the way he drives, then we might see a few more DNFs from Verstappen, and we might not see him repeat the world championship, which will be most to everyone's happiness, I think. But he, like Moni said, he's a great driver, and you want the best drivers to compete and do well. So honestly, he just needs to really adjust to the car, adjust his driving to the car, and then, see what happens. And if it sucks, then he can go back to how he usually drives. But I just think for now he needs to go back to the basics a little bit, focus on how this car drives, how it moves, how it goes into corners, how it speeds up coming out of the apex, and just, learn how to drive this car.
So I want to talk about what Jack just said. Like, are we saying that Max caused his car to blow up? Because I'm sorry, I don't buy that. Like, Checo had a failure in the first race. Both the Toros, or whatever they're called, AlphaTauris, have failed at some point this year. Like, that Honda power unit's not reliable, and I don't know what the hell Helmut Marko's talking about. Half the time he's just blowing crap out of his mouth anyway. So, but I don't think. What did Max do wrong here? He backed off of Leclerc. He was just managing the car, and it blowed up anyway. It's not reliable, and frankly, I think exactly it's the engineer's problem, and I think Red Bull agrees because they shuffle their engineering team.
Correct.
Their trackside engineer is now in charge of the junior drivers, and Max's engineer is in charge of like the whole weekend setup now. So they move people around for a reason. I agree with kind of some of the criticisms of Max's driving, but I don't think that's caused any of his problems this year. The car it stopped twice. Like, it wasn't. He's not. I don't think he caused it. I mean, Checo's also stopped in the first race. Both the AlphaTauris have had reliability issues, and one of the issues that they have as a team is these are all new power units, and frankly, even though they're working with the Honda engineers, that was never the most reliable either. Yeah. I mean, this is kind of the Achilles heel of that car. It's always been that.
Now, Vish, I do agree, of course, Checo did, bow out of the first race, but I feel like Checo has adjusted better to this current car than Max has. And that's why in the past 2 races, we've seen him, we got pole in Jeddah, and then the unfortunate safety car issue there put him back and forth, and that's why he pretty much lost the race, because he was in control of that entire race.
Yeah, so maybe he still feels like he's in that 2021 car.
But in Australia, Max was miles ahead of him when his car broke. So unless we're saying Max caused his car to break, I'm not exactly sure. Like, I'm just not thinking. I don't think he caused that. Like that. I guess that's where the disagreement is.
I'm saying it's probably a mixture of his driving as well as the engineers coming together, and then it just kind of just goes, and that's it.
I don't know. It's a brand new car. They got to work the kinks out. Is what it is. To me, it's not blaming the driver is harsh. I would say,
at the end of the day,
even if Max is a dick.
At the end
That's
of the day,
thing. Max is an asshole, and
it's
I'm
only
gonna
the
why.
third race. At the end of the day, it's only been 3 races.
Yeah, but now here's the thing, and I'll counter that, Moni, by saying it is only the 3rd race. But how many more times are we going to say it's only the 4th race? It's only the 5th race. At that point, yeah, because at that point, then now you're staring up at the constructors, and you've got Ferrari and McLaren and Mercedes, and you've got everybody in front of you. And at that point,
and also money.
I wasn't because it's not. Listen, I wasn't using it like as an excuse. ¿Me entiendes? Like I wasn't I wasn't gonna say, guys,
the Spanish.
It's the 17th race. No, but you do have to consider that it's been 3 races. This is the first race that we have after a bye week. No, if I remember correctly. So
bye week.
Bye
week.
week. Bye week is fine.
Bye week. So again, I think that's why that that's what I was. This is exactly what I was referring to as a crucial point for Red Bull. Like precisely because of what you say, Jazz. Like you can't just keep saying it's only the 4th race, it's only the 5th race. It's the same. No, this is precisely a crucial point for Red Bull because they have to start figuring stuff out in order to not give that excuse anymore, to figure out what's going on with Max's car, which is apparently the one that has all the problems or whatever the hell, whether it's an engineer problem, whether it's Max just being addicted to the car and addicted to his engineering team, I don't know. But regardless, that's why it's a crucial point for Red Bull, precisely because of that.
The one thing I will say this year, with just in defense of kind of the fact that it's only the 3rd race, is we're in a situation where the cars are new. There's a lot of time that's hidden in all of these cars. We still haven't shaken out like which cars out. The Ferrari's been fastest so far. All these cars are not working the way they were designed yet. So part of the reason like Mercedes isn't panicking, the reason Red Bull's like annoyed with the reliability is because they left points on the table. But it's possible one of these cars reaches its maximum potential and is so far ahead of everyone else who just win like 10 races in a row. We've seen this happen before. So that's why I think none of the top teams are panicking. Until they start, because frankly the teams that are slow right now know that they have more time in the car. So it's going to take a while to shake this out. So there's 20 races left. That's a lot.
But hold on. This is for Moni. Moni, I'm going to pull up a picture, and I want you to look at it and tell me what do you see. You see a driver with his team.
Correct.
Overall.
Yes.
Okay? You see a driver who's appreciative of it, of his guys, of his team, whether he finishes a race or not, right?
Yeah. Yes.
I have not seen this from Max so far this season.
Dude, Max is the defending world champion. They're celebrating a second place in a race.
Hold on. Let me finish.
Go.
I'm showing this picture is because I think there's a clear division between one garage and the one next to it. Just because you're the defending champion doesn't mean, oh, hey, listen, everything goes to you, okay? This team that's with Checo.
That's exactly what it means, Manny.
No, what it means is the other garage is not going to celebrate second place because they won the damn championship last year.
No, but this is also saying the togetherness that's going on here, unlike next door.
Okay, can we pull up shots after Jeddah and see what Max's garage was doing?
Max
Because I'm
did
pretty
not
sure
post a single picture with his team. Not a single
there
one.
was no pictures of him with his team
No,
in the
it was
trophy
him
in
by
Jeddah.
himself. It was him by himself and him saying, I am on Max Air. I'm going to my jet flight, Max Air. Okay? That's all it was. That's it.
And making.
Okay, so now you're going to make me go Google pictures of Jeddah to show you that you're wrong. Like, seriously.
Let me go and search.
Honestly, like that stuff doesn't bother me at all. That stuff doesn't bother me. The fact that
No, but I'm asking a Red Bull fan, does that bother her?
It doesn't bother me because I can't come out here and pretend that the entire universe and probably even Galaxy knows how Max Verstappen is.
Yeah, he's a prick. It is what it is.
I'm so mad you guys are making me defend him. He is a prick. He's every negative phrase that we've used about him in both English and Spanish. We're all accurate, but he's still an awesome driver, and he did not cause the car to blow up.
I love Max though. I'm not saying that it's Max.
I hate him. I want him to actually screw up, but that's not his fault. The car.
Driver, bro. I'm telling you, if I had the phone number to Total Wolf, I'll freaking tell him to call his ass. Hey, let's make it happen. Forget Red Bull. You will not have these DNF issues. Come over here. We got you. Trust me. I'll take Max in a heartbeat. I just feel like the Red Bull themselves with their damn guy, Mr. Horny, or whatever his freaking name is so far shit up his ass. Oh, do you think it was an engine problem? Oh, no, it wasn't an engine problem. So what the hell was it then? Like, what? You're just full of shit as well, man. And nothing about Checo. Ever. Nothing. Bro, freak that guy, dude. But the guy doesn't give a shit. All right. I'm done.
I think that rant needs to go somewhere on the 5 Reasons Sports Network.
Yeah.
Go somewhere, man.
No,
Come on, Vish. I want you to go and help out Max here. Come on, keep going.
No, can we move on?
I am very happy that Max is struggling. I'm just saying, I cannot believe we're sitting here saying he caused the reliability problems.
Can we move on from Red Bull already? For the love of God!
No, wait.
This is what happens. I need my monster. I'll be back.
Before we move on, I would like Vish to say, Max Verstappen es un mañoso.
Max Verstappen as un mañoso.
Perfect.
Yeah, Vicious Spanish is not as bad as you think it is.
No, I speak Spanish.
Yeah.
I wasn't even, guys. I wasn't even
Sure, Moni. Sure.
Spanish. This is just a very Colombian word that I have no idea how to translate. So
I went to college with a bunch of Colombians, but they were from Cartagena and they speak different. So
They do.
yeah, I know.
But okay,
Anyways,
let's go.
moving on up. Leclerc does it again. Mona, you mentioned it, right? He has been, but I mean, this one showed how unstoppable right now that Red Bull is. And look, and Vish, you mentioned it also. None of the teams, even the top teams, haven't gotten to their full potential yet. So it's scary to think that Ferrari car can get quicker, and it can, and it still has, something there. So I think that it's going to be exciting, and it's going to be interesting to see what they bring moving forward, not only Imola, but further into Miami and the rest of the circuit, to kind of see what all of them do. But right now, I mean, let's talk a little bit about Ferrari, right? I mean, there really isn't much negativity to say with Leclerc. However, I think what's going to be interesting to see down the road is, can Sainz, because right now, obviously, he's the Achilles heel for that Ferrari team, right? Like the bottom line is, he had an opportunity in Australia to kind of cement himself as one of the top 2 or 3 guys in the circuit this year. And whether it was reliability, whether it was, him not driving the car properly, whatever it was, like he screwed up, right? At the end of the day, he screwed up. He didn't have a great 2 days going into the race either, right? His car's still fast. That's, it is what it is. However, there's something going on with Sainz, and he's got to fix it. If not, Ferrari's going to be looking for another driver soon, right? Like that's maybe not this year, but they're going to be looking for something. What's going on with Sainz? Is it a Sainz issue? Is it a Ferrari issue? Max, oh, God bless your soul, Gus. God bless your soul. That would happen.
I can't wait for Jazz to be.
I know, right? Jesus, that would be absolutely terrible.
By the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but I did see a report that Sainz signed until 2024. But of course, we all know he can get fired. So
Sainz isn't going anywhere, so let's start with that.
So Vish, so tell me what's going on with Sainz. I mean, look, listen, there's still an opportunity for him to get back in this and really help, because at this point, his role is gonna have to be to help Leclerc win the championship, right? And to help them win the constructors. It's not a matter of him finishing, winning the world championship, right?
Yeah, but I mean, we all had a high hat.
We did. We all love Sainz. We love Sainz. That's my favorite
Ferrari brought him in to be the number 2 driver, so that's what he's doing. Like, I mean, we're the ones who kind of big up them and said, well, he can compete with Leclerc.
But not only us. There's been writers like Jenny Gao. I think some of these people predicted.
Well, they're not gonna come right out and say, like, the conventional wisdom is he's the number 2 driver and he was going to be. Now he just accelerated that because we talked earlier about it's only been 3 races. He's firmly established himself already as the number 2 drivers. We also talked about how, like, the Mercedes number 2 and the Red Bull number 2 are actually in front of their teammates right now. He is definitely locked into that number 2 role. The qualifying was a combination of bad luck. Alonso crashed right when he was about to cross the finish line, so his lap didn't count, or he would have been way further up the field. And then he himself admitted he completely messed the race up. Tires were not hot. He did not have the pace to try and overtake. He tried to, and he beached it. So, and I think one of the old man alert coming here, but a lot of the newer tracks, they don't put the gravel runoff. These guys are not used to getting punished. Used to get stuck a lot because this is how the runoff areas used to be.
Yeah, because nothing happened to his car, right? It was just a matter of he just couldn't get out. Yeah. This Jack guy is
I love you,
funny guy, bro.
Thank you.
Hey, man, but let's get straight. It's not winning. It's finishing second place.
Right. So you can start
because that's what that picture was for. I was not winning, but yeah. That's awesome. that could fulfill his destiny as the number 2 driver if only he'd taken a group picture.
But he's been fast though, Vish. Right? He's been fast in qualifying. Maybe maybe not as fast, obviously, as Leclerc and maybe even Checo's been really fast in qualifying and stuff like that. But like, what is it? Is it just more of a mindset with him right now where he's not where he needs to be or where he wants to be? Because Leclerc's going to need him to be able to
Well,
win
this
the
is
world championship,
like
right?
signs of someone who's never won a race. This is his first time kind of in a competitive car. Frankly, I think he panicked a little bit when I think Ferrari made the wrong call to start him on the hard tires. That was a mistake. And he starts dropping back and he panicked. He forced it. He admitted it. He forced a pass that wasn't there.
Right.
Now, is it bad luck that the car beached? Yes.
Yeah.
Like, that's bad luck that he happened to go across and get caught in the gravel trap. But that was a panicky move. And we've seen, over the years, we've seen Hamilton, Verstappen, when they end up out of position, you see them methodically, pick one car off at a time, another car. They don't try to overtake like three at once, right? They're very patient with it. He was impatient and it bit him. But the challenge he has is his teammates way up front now. So, yeah, I think he's going to settle in, unless there's some reliability issues for Leclerc that allows him to really cut that lead down. He's in his support role the rest of the year. I don't see there's any way around that.
And not to say, not to give an excuse, that chicane there on that turn was giving everybody issues, right? There was a lot of drivers getting into that
Magnussen
gravel.
almost freaking crashed.
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
right?
that
Magnussen
was a
almost
tough little corner there. That chicane that was tough. So I think that I think Vettel did a good job of no, I'm just kidding. I tried to keep a straight face, but I couldn't.
Man,
I think that Latifi managed that corner pretty well.
Yeah, he did, right?
Hey, I mean, we have not talked about this yet. Latifi
No
did not
DNF.
wreck.
Right, no DNF, man.
He only crashed once during the weekend. He finished the race. It wasn't bad.
Moving on. Last team that I really want to talk about in, kind of extended time is how impressive I think that the McLarens were. I think they ran a decent race. I think both. So you gotta show Vish and then the papaya. Yeah, I have to there and boom.
Yeah!
There it is. And boom.
I'm gonna bring up papaya next week. I'm hoping to have one at the grocery store.
Put it in the background, dude.
Are they in season? I don't even know. I gotta find a papaya though.
They're just right there.
Yeah, man. But anyway, so McLaren, I think nice showing by both drivers, right? Both Norris and Ricardo, I think had a nice showing. How much more do they have left in the tank, guys? Can they start competing really better than even just a midfield? Can they be more of a top 3 team?
I won't say top 3 just yet. I think right now how they are improving, which is always a good sign. But I think right now, I would say they have a good chance at the 4th place spot right now. I think the top 3, it's definitely, or at least it should be, Ferrari, Red Bull, and Mercedes based on the past 3 races so far. I think if McLaren keeps showing that steady improvement and they keep going forward, then yeah, perhaps they can get into that top 3 conversation. But right now, I think considering, how they did so well in 2020 and then last year they kind of fell off, I think them kind of ascending again would be a good sign for them. And I think this ascension that they've had with Lando finishing in 7th at Jeddah, and then now Ricardo and Norris finishing 5 and 6, it just shows that they're doing a steady increase in places. And I think if they keep around that same spot in the top 10, or maybe even 4th, or perhaps even a podium here and there, I think they can definitely solidify that 4th spot in the constructors.
Manny, what the hell are we looking at?
That's how papayas enjoy their race, bro.
that was the Australian home fans, and if you're on the Six Rings Cage show, you saw I found an Australian that didn't like Daniel Ricciardo, and I was very upset. But anyway,
ooh, by the way, Vish, before you answer in his whole clarification, should have Lando let Ricardo. You know, now that we've talking about, Russell should have let Lewis go ahead if he could. Should have Lando done the same thing for Daniel?
No, because Daniel was slower.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Like, he was slower the whole weekend. He was behind because he was slower. I agree with Nick. I think the goal is fourth. Like, if we can comfortably finish fourth. Right now, what McLaren's trying to do is create a gap between themselves and, like, the Alpines. They're nowhere near the Mercedes. And actually, this race crystallized it because they were right behind them. You just saw those Mercedes pull away. And this is a messed up Mercedes. Like, this isn't even... that car isn't even working. So, no, the gap's too big. And the goal for this year is to get comfortably into the fourth spot, and then next year kind of try to challenge the top three. But this year, I mean, like Nick said, a couple of races, maybe you get on the podium, get some luck. But overall, no, fourth is the ceiling there. Which is fine. Like, that's fine. Like, that's the goal for the year.
Manny, can you put up that question on Mercedes real quick again?
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Whatever TER 30 wheel, whatever was decided with the Mercedes side pods. I haven't really followed F1 since Schumacher was dominating the sport, so I have a lot of catching up to do. Well, thanks for coming on and supporting us and catching up on F1. We do appreciate it, whoever you are. TER 30 wheel. There's something. Anyways, anybody have any answers on that?
So I'm assuming he's talking about like the radical design that on the side pod. So there was questions, at least in preseason testing, on whether or not they were legal. They are legal. The car sucks, so no one's really complaining about it now. But no, they're legal. If you recall, at the first practice, the Mercedes showed up faster than everyone else with this kind of radical design side pods. And anytime they do these new, major design differences with the cars, there's always these, questions of, is that actually legal? Because all that FIA does is give you guidelines and parameters, and you can build your car however you want within that. So there's always these questions of, like, is that actually legal or not? So they're legal, but the car itself is not working well. So that's why there's a big question around those side pods and whether or not just Mercedes just chunk that whole design concept out and start over.
Right.
Because they've kind of gone one direction where the rest of the field went another. I think right now they're holding tight because I think they think if they can get the porpoising under control, they'll be able to be faster than everyone else.
Gotcha.
And that's why I think they're not. That's why they're not rushing upgrades out. They're being very methodical. Well, it helps that Red Bull keeps blowing up because they're actually second in the constructors right now, even though the car's not fast. But I think they're thinking if we get this design right, it is the fastest car, and I think that's what they're holding on to.
Gotcha. I guess we've only got a couple more minutes. Biggest surprise of the weekend for all of you. We'll start with Manny on this. What's the biggest surprise? The biggest thing you took out of the Aussie GP?
The biggest surprise was when Sainz spun out. He basically told his team, "Hey, all I basically need is a push," and his team basically said, "No, just go ahead and shut it down." I thought, listen, I understand that you're gonna probably end last no matter what, but I felt like you took his abilities out of his hands by you saying no, screw it.
So is it legal to do that? I knew it used to be.
Yeah,
illegal.
I don't think it is.
Well, the funny thing is, I've heard 2 or 3 Formula One shows since then, including BBC's, and they actually said they have an opportunity to do it. They didn't go specifically what has to happen, but their main issue was, well, his team didn't even go for that option. They basically just said shut it down.
Yeah.
I do remember. God, this is so long ago. I remember that. I know for sure it's famous. I actually was not watching Formula One. I'm not this old, but where Senna got help to get his car out and then finished the race and won, and they disqualified him because you can't. Once the stewards helped the car, you basically had an unfair assist. And what he was doing,
ask for it. He did ask.
Yeah,
for it,
but I don't know that he knows the. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, right? I don't know, but but he was what he was actively doing, which is why they told him to shut it off, was spinning his tires into the runoff and overheating the engine. For real. Not Mercedes overheating, but legitimately overheating.
Not Red Bull overheating.
Yeah.
Not Mercedes overheating.
Yeah. So I think that's why they told him to shut him off. I'm sure they saw the temperatures kind of spiking, like you need to turn that off now before you blow the engine up, and then there's engine penalties and all for doing that, so they didn't want to incur that. He was done.
What's the big surprise for you, Nick?
All right.
I also say though, the strategy of Williams Racing and Albon, I thought it was such a risk but high reward.
Cool. I only asked you for one though. All right?
I'm just saying.
You just stole Nick's. You stole Nick's. I saw Williams coming out of his mouth. And, hey, my job is to interrupt and talk over people, not yours.
Well, Williams Racing doesn't get enough love on this show. I just
Well,
want to
Nick was literally about to give them love when you came in with surprise number 2. Go ahead, Dick. We'll pretend Manny didn't say Albon. Go for it.
Hey, listen, you're a host on this thing. You could have muted his ass as well.
No,
Nick.
That's true.
but yeah, I mean, what a ballsy performance from Albon, considering he went 57 laps on the hard tire and then he pitted on the last lap. He was in 7th on the last lap, and then he still finished in 10th and got a point, which is huge for Williams, considering the fact that Aston Martin is complete shit this year, and Haas is still kind of I mean, they're kind of there, but then they're kind of not, so you don't really know. And then also with Alfa Romeo, I mean, they have Bottas, and he's been doing well in the Alfa Romeo, but Zhou Guanyu he's a brand new driver, so he's a rookie, so there's going to be some growing pains. AlphaTauri, I feel like they've taken a slight step back after the first few races, but I mean, they can obviously recover. So for them to at least, have that bold strategy and basically be like, fuck it, why not do it? And they went for it, and they ended up getting a point out of it, and, hats off to them, man. That's a great result for them.
Moni, what about you?
Can you repeat the question?
What was the biggest surprise for you in the Aussie Open? The Aussie Open, it's going to be the Aussie GP.
Aussie Open. To be entirely honest with you,
I know what you're going to say too.
Sainz. I did not see that coming whatsoever. In my personal opinion, I'm not even a Ferrari fan. I don't dislike Sainz. I'm not a Sainz hater or anything. I respect him a lot. It was heartbreaking. That sucked. That was like, when I saw that happen, I was like, there's no way. Yeah. And those are the type of literally just heartbreaking moments in a race that can just happen so quick to anyone. The slightest mistake, not even, I don't even know if to call it a mistake, but the slightest little thing can just turn around the race so quick for a driver. And to be honest, for me, Sainz was the biggest surprise at the Aussie GP. I didn't. And I was pretty sad for him and for Ferrari, to be honest.
And guys, remind me if I'm incorrect, but wasn't the issue between Stahl and Latifi is what caused Sainz not to be able to get his quick lap in, right? Or
no, it was Alonso. Alonso crashed.
It was Alonso's crash.
So it was all timing. Leclerc just crossed the finish line. Basically, they used to let you finish the lap, but then drivers would drive dangerously and finish. So now if there's a red flag, the lap times are automatically canceled. So Leclerc crossed just before the red flag came out, so his lap counted. Sainz was on the start-finish straight.
Right there.
They said it was less than a second, but it's automatic. They cancel a lap, so that lap didn't count. And there was something wrong. I forget exactly what it was. Not his fault. Something wrong with his car because they restarted the session on the second lap, so he didn't even do a fast lap on that one. So what ended up counting as his lap time was, they were doing 2 laps to heat the tires. His warm-up lap was actually what his qualifying lap was, and he started 9th because Alonso had no laps because he crashed.
And then he just sucked on them hard tires.
Yeah, then they put him on the hard tires. Again, not his fault. Now, the way he tried to deal with that was his fault, but most of it, I would say 75-80% was not him.
By the way, have we finally agreed on that it's Lance Stroll's fault for that issue with Latifi?
No, I'm not buying
really?
That. Yes.
Really? You are still in that hard perception of Stroll is fine, even though he looked at him and saw him.
So here's my problem with it. I agree that Stroll's got to watch his mirrors and him drifting over and kind of hitting Latifi is definitely on Stroll. I cannot defend what the hell Latifi is doing. Pulls over to the side, waves him through, and then tries to overtake him a corner later. What the hell was he doing? That's dangerous driving too. You're in a qualifying session where drivers are constantly letting the faster car go through. And I've never seen someone like he pulled way over, and then like within a corner was trying to pass him on the inside. Like, what was he doing too? And to me, like, if I'm Stroll, yes, any driver is responsible for their car and their mirrors, but there's no way you think Latifi is trying to pass you back after he moved out of the way and let you through. So I don't know what Latifi, and that's why I blame Latifi. He shouldn't have been there.
I think Latifi said his team told him that Stroll wasn't on a racing friggin' lap.
Neither was he.
But he was starting it ahead of him, and he wanted to pull over because he knows that like Stroll was up right there, so he wanted to wait for him to pass, and then he was going to go. My issue with Stroll is you're going down a narrow path turn that he didn't even need to go sharp right. That's my issue.
Well, he was letting through someone else. He was letting through someone else. He should have checked his mirrors, yes, but Latifi shouldn't have been there. And if Latifi's not there, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Stroll's an idiot too. We got the two dumbest drivers on the track running into each
Yeah,
other.
I think my issue is that we're spending way too much time on both of these idiots.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you my surprise, Jazz.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm gonna.
For the love of God.
I've seen this driver not get a lot of love from the pit crew. I'm going with Ocon, who is now blowing away Alonso in the championship, 20 points to 2. Brought the car home again. He's been faster the entire season. He's a better driver than Alonso right now, and Alonso gets all the respect because obviously he's the double world champion. Ocon is outclassing him completely. And Ocon's a guy who a lot of these drivers get into Formula 1 because they came from money. He didn't. He had to work his butt off to get in there. His dad had to work multiple jobs. That's why he kept getting fired, because he'd be on the team with the pay driver, and they're like, the money's staying, you get out. And he's finally on a team that's supporting him, and so that's my pleasant surprise of the year. He's 18 points ahead of Alonso right now in the championship, and has been faster than him at every race. So that's who I'm going with.
Very cool.
By the way, funny stat here: if Charles Leclerc had his own driving company or his own brand, Charles Leclerc will be leading everybody in total in points.
Charles.
Hmm?
Oh, if he had his own racing team?
Was that a really confusing way to say that his points alone make Ferrari first in the constructors?
Yes, that's
Absolutely.
correct.
Okay. All right. Now that we're all on the same.
Get out of here! Get out of here!
That's exactly what it was saying.
I have control of the street too. I can put myself back. All right, you want me? You left. I didn't do it. He did it. I didn't do it. But
Cue the papaya! Cue the papaya!
Bring him back.
I didn't do it. He did it. I have not touched the controls in this entire thing.
There it is.
Why is Dono's head on? Anyway.
Anyway. I think that's it. We don't have a show this Sunday, obviously, because there's another bye week. As me and Moni like to say, there's another bye week this week. But I think it's gonna be blowing.
Hey, you know what? We're gonna call it a bye week from now on. That's what we're gonna do.
The bye week. I like it.
Look, there's races in Miami. There's 3 races in the U.S. We're clearly the home of Formula 1 now. They gotta adopt our language.
Correct. All right, we don't believe in anything else.
We're gonna spell tires with an I. We're gonna do this thing.
No wise allowed. No wise allowed. But we will have one next week, next Wednesday, as we'll preview Imola, and I think it's go time because we're only a little bit less than a month away from the Crypto.com. I don't like it. It doesn't say Miami Grand Prix. It's the United States Grand Prix, but it should be the Miami Grand Prix is what it really should be.
Well, why? Because the race is not in Miami.
Or he doesn't have Austin Grand Prix in it.
The race is in Miami.
No, I'm just saying that there's most fans that don't like it because they're like, I don't care. The race is not in Miami.
It's in Miami Gardens. What are we talking about? It's Miami.
Yeah, it's in Miami. Yeah, those fans are idiots. Like the Austin one should be.
I've had people tell me, let's be honest, the race is on County Line Road. I'm like, get out of here.
But it's not.
It's not, right?
Yeah,
it's
it's in Dade County. What are we talking about?
What's going on here?
What's
What
happening?
are these fans that you're talking to? Them to go screw themselves. I don't
Trust
know.
me, there's plenty of them.
Jesus. Anyways, thank you everybody for joining the show. That it's not in Miami. We appreciate it. But
It's just the only place that it's only the same place the Hurricanes, the Dolphins play, and they host the Miami Open tennis tournament. Other than that, it's not in Miami.
When it's the Super Bowl, it's in Miami. When it's Formula 1, it's not in Miami.
I don't even understand what they want to like drive on the beach itself. I think Sainz is preparing for it, but everyone else is gonna have a problem.
No kidding, man. Thanks.
Oh my god.
Anyways,
That's it.
I think we'll end
Oh
there.
man.
We'll end there.
Okay, then it should be the Miami Gardens Grand Prix.
No, it should not. It's the Miami Grand Prix.
No, I agree
That's what
100%.
it should be.
Just for the haters,
Yeah.
that Miami's
Oh,
close.
yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
And if it wasn't Miami Gardens is a much better area than a lot of the other places in the world. So I'll take it. Thank you guys for joining. Manny, Nick, Moni, Vish. Always a pleasure. Always fun. Check us out. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at F1 underscore. I'm sorry. Did I say Instagram? On
Twitter.
You're on
Twitter.
Instagram now?
On Twitter. No, we're definitely not on Instagram.
You started an Instagram?
Too many things, man. Too many things going
No
on.
wonder we're getting these strange DMs earlier.
This is what happens when you have too many shows and too much shit going on. On Twitter at F1 underscore 5 reasons. Make sure you check us out.
Vamos,
Ah,
what I said.
I mean, if you
Oh,
want to go
man.
pure Miami, that's where you got to do it.
Oh,
Except don't explain. You know,
Grand Prix, baby.
the
Brought to you by Nintendo.
Consorte Grand Prix, baby.
no, you got to leave the street signs how they are, where the numbers just randomly change because you entered Hialeah and have them figure it out.
Oye, la 8 a una izquierda ahí, and that's what she came.
Oye, tú tienes que pasar el dorado, ¿ok?
Cuando tú pasas el dorado, haz una derecha ahí. Ese es el chicane.
Room
¿Oíste?
to go.
I said it. Look. Put up this.
The Acere Grand Prix.
I said it,
I
Ferrari.
said it for our.
Acere Ferrari, baby. That's right. Oh, man, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. We'll be back on next Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Make sure you check us out. Follow us on Twitter at F1 underscore 5 reasons. Make sure you subscribe to the 5 Reasons Sports YouTube channel. Smash the like button and make sure you follow us all throughout the week. Like I said earlier, for all the latest on the F1 news. And again, thank you everybody for joining us. And we will see you guys next Wednesday. Adios.